Hey guys, welcome to the Tech Career Booster channel. In this video, I wanna tell you the truth behind software development. I wanna debunk 10 misconceptions about software developers and things people think they do. So before we deep dive in it, please leave your thumbs up, your like, wherever you are watching that. And if you think this content is going to be useful to someone, please share that with your friends, your mates, and let me try to help people to actually become software developer. So let's go straight to it. What are the misconceptions? What most people think, which are actually not true? And I would say the first one would be every dev needs a computer science degree. That's not true. Most people think you have to go for a computer science course in the uni and do a full degree, which is actually not the reality. For most of the devs, I would say they don't have a computer science degree. To become a dev, basically you need to know how to program and how to interact with people, how to resolve the problems. It's way more about problem solving and understanding reality and transforming that into code or transforming that into software than actually having a degree. So that's the first myth. That's the first misconception. You don't have you don't have to go and do a full degree to become a software developer. What you have to do is actually learn all the skills the profession requires. So you're going to need to learn to code. Yes, you're going to need to learn to interact with people. You're going to need to learn agile methodologies. Yeah, there's a lot of things you have to learn, but a degree is not the only way to actually learn that. You can learn through online course. You can learn through boot camps. You can learn through uh, books, anywhere, YouTube videos like this one. So there are many places where you can learn from, which are not only uni or not only a computer science degree. So that's the first myth. If you think you need a degree, you won't. Next myth is it's too late to start. Some people think they no, I didn't do like just after high school, I didn't do a TAFE course, so I didn't learn that. Now I already started another profession. I'm already a trader, I'm already like electrician, plumber, I'm already like working financial, whatever people are working at the moment, or that doesn't matter how old you are. If you think it's too late, it's actually not. And the reason for that is because in software development, we always have to be learning some new stuff. So if you start to learn now, even if you are already in your 30s, in your 40s, or even older, if we start to learn now, you can learn and get up to date in 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 year, and you're going to be able to start your career. And people who are doing that for 10, 15 years, they still have to learn as well. So they have to catch up. You are going to be sort of in the same boat. So yeah, it's never too late. Don't be fooled thinking, oh no, I'm too old, I can't change career right now. That's not the truth. And there are many people out there to prove that. You're going to find examples. If you search it, you're going to find people in the companies who changed their career and who started code in their 30s, in their 40s, and their 50s, and they are happy. It all depends on what you want, what's your goal, and what's your plan for the future. So that's the second myth debunked. It's never too late. You always can start it. Third one is a sort of funny one. Most people think the code is the only thing you're gonna do. It's code only. And it's not true. Like, to create software, to become a software developer, you're not going to be only coding. Yes, code is important. You have to learn a programming language. You're going to be coding sometime, but not all the time. There's a lot of other tasks involved in a software developer role, which are not coding. Like you're going to be creating documentation for your software. You're probably going to be writing a lot of documentation. It's either for users or for your colleagues, for other devs to actually understand what you have done. You are going to be communicating to people. You have to understand the problem, whatever is coming for you to actually create a solution for. You have to understand that. You're going to have to talk to people. So communication is crucial. You're going to be working in a team, so you have to interact with people. You're going to have to explain to other devs what you have done. You're going to be doing code reviews. There is a lot of other tasks which are not code only. So don't be desperate thinking, I'm going to be the whole day looking at a black screen, coding, coding, and coding. It's boring. Nah, it's not going to be like that. Definitely not. Third myth debunked. Fourth one. What do we have for the fourth one? It's for math lovers only. Some people think, I would say most of people think, to become a software developer, you have to love math. You don't. Like, to be honest, I'm not very good in maths, and I've been coding or creating software for a lot of years. I wouldn't say how many because that's going to tell you guys how old I am, and I don't want to tell you that I'm ancient. But it's not for math lovers only. Like, if you don't really like mathematics, but you want to become a software developer, don't let it block you. Don't think like you're going to be doing a lot of complex mathematics and complex calculations and things, because most of the time you won't. There are some basic things you're going to have to do. Yes, you're going to have to know the basic mathematics. If you're going to go for data science, for example, you're going to need some statistics. If you go for games, you're going to need some geometry, trigonometry, and that sort of stuff. But you don't need to be like an expert. You always have a chance to learn things. Most of the time when you're going to resolve a problem, whoever is asking you to resolve that problem, they're going to explain to you what's the problem about and how to solve that. So no one's going to expect you to be the math genius. Don't be afraid to actually start the career just because you think you need to know a lot of methods and people are going to ask you to resolve complex problems about mathematics. It's not going to happen. Most likely you're not going to find that in your career. But on the other hand, you do have to have some really good problem solving skills. You have to be a problem solver, thinking person, because that, I would say, is an important skill. You don't have to love maths, but you have to love to solve problems. You have to be passionate about solving other people's problems, because that's what you're going to be doing most of the time. You're going to be resolving other people's problems. And that's the fourth myth. Don't believe it. You don't have to be a maths lover. And the fifth one. Fifth is the dev's routine is lonely. If you are scared you're going to be lonely just in front of your computer by yourself, coding and coding and coding, don't be afraid. That's not true. You won't be alone. Most of the time, you're actually going to be with people. Currently, we have many different ways of working. We can work remotely, working from home. We can have hybrid roles where you can go to the office a couple of days a week and then work from home the other days. And some companies are like 100% in the office, so you're going to go to the office every day. But doesn't matter how is your arrangement, you're still not going to be alone. You have usually work as a team. So as a team, you're going to be communicate to your peers, to your colleagues in your team. You're also going to be communicating to product owner, to other stakeholders. You have to understand your tasks. Usually these companies, the tech companies nowadays, they do some integrations and things to actually put people together. especially working from home. So, for example, in my company, we have some events every 3 months, every 6 months, where we put people together to actually socialize. And other than that, there are many other tasks which are not lonely. You're gonna spend some time by yourself when you have to concentrate, like put your hands down and actually write some code. Yes, you're gonna have some time like that. But I would say it's 40, 30% of the time, maybe less, depends on how your team works. We even have pair programming. Some companies, they use pair programming where you just exactly you sit next to someone else and you're going to be coding with someone else just next to you. If you are that kind of person who actually wants to be alone, don't want to talk to anyone, um, it can be sort of disappointing because you're not going to be able to do that 100% in software development. You have to actually be a good communicator. And that's a misconception as well. Most people think they're going to be just by themselves, they don't have to talk to anyone. And that's not true. Let's go for the sixth one. Sixth, mastering all programming languages is a must. Some people think you're going to have to know all the languages, all programming languages. You have to master everything, you have to learn everything, you have to be on top of all of them and specialist in all of them. And that's simply impossible. I would say no one can actually learn and keep up to date with all the languages in the market. There are so many languages for so many different purposes, and you just can't be in the top of that. To be honest, I think it's way more important to learn 1, 2 languages in depth than actually learn a lot of languages and not knowing much about them. Obviously, you have to know what's the main purpose of the mainstream languages. So the mainstream ones, you have to know, okay, what's Java for? What's JavaScript for? What's .NET for? What's PHP for? You need to sort of know the best usage of those languages. Python, what's Python for? So if you know the best usage of those languages and what they are made for, or what they are best used for, then you're going to be able to sort of work with them when you need. And programming is more about understanding the logic behind the things and understanding how to solve the problems than actually mastering one language in its syntax. If you have to change between one to another language, it's kind of easy if you know how to solve the problem you want to solve. So you're going to be resolving the problem and then applying that to a code. And if you don't know 100% of the code you need, it's pretty easy these days to actually Google it, to get AI to help you, Chat GPT. That all can help, but you don't have to master the language. Chat GPT and Google, they are your friends. But don't be fooled again. ChatGPT is not going to write the whole code for you. Some people think they will, but ChatGPT is not. Let's go to the seventh one. What's the seventh myth? It's a simply stress-free 9 to 5 job. If you think you're not going to be stressed, if you think you're going to work 9 to 5, forget it. That's not going to happen. If you are a software developer, you have to care about the system you are creating. You have to care about the things you are developing for. And on saying that, I've never seen, in more than 20 years of career, I've never seen a bug-free software. So there are times where you're going to have to resolve a really critical bug. There's something really critical, you have to go and fix it. And it's so important that you can't go home at 5. You have to fix it today. There are some times where you have a project and it's delayed because you couldn't estimate it properly with your team. So if you're not properly estimated and you are delayed, you're going to have to work over hours to actually deliver the project. And that happens. That's not like the majority of the time, but that does happen. So if you're expecting to go home every day at 5 or to stop working every day like at 5 or just work in the hours you were hired to work for, that's not the truth for 100% of the time. So sometimes you have to give a bit more than that. And sometimes you have some stress, sometimes you have to resolve problems you were not expecting to resolve. So it can be a bit stressful. Don't be fooled thinking it's an easy job. It's gonna be like easy peasy, just go there and do your job and go back home. It's not like that. It's a mental job. It's not like a manual job. You're not going to be working with your hands. You're not going to be working with your body. You want to be working with your brain, and that's just by itself. It's stressful. It's going to bring you. Um, you're going to be tired mentally. Uh, so if you are thinking just easy thing, that career is not for you. And let's go to the eighth one. The eighth myth is it's a quick way to make lots of money. Again, guys, like when we talk about IT, most people say, you are rich. Like you are a dev, you work in IT, you are a rich guy. And if you are a dev, you know that's not true. It's actually true that devs can make a good money, uh, but that's gonna come with experience. Especially if you are a starter, you're gonna have to start with a way less money than the average you're gonna see like in the media. You're probably gonna see in the internet or in media in general. You're gonna see pretty high average salaries for software developers. Doesn't matter which language or which area you go to. You're gonna see a lot of high salaries, a high range of salaries, and that does happen. That is true, but it's usually for experienced people. It's not for the starters. So if you're just starting, be happy if you find a job and have just an initial salary. Uh, be happy to actually gain some experience, because as it's an always learning career, probably someone's going to pay you to actually learn. If you don't have any experience, if you're just starting, if you're start as a junior position, you should be very happy, because people are going to be paying you to be learning, to be enhancing your skills. And once you enhance that, then you're going to make more money. When you get experience, then that's the time to ask for more money. And if the company you are working for can't see your value, then it's time to change companies. You're going to change to a different company. You're going to show up, you're going to show your value, and then they're going to pay you more. So yeah, it's not a quick way. It definitely takes time to make a good money in this career. And the ninth one is, most people think devs are the smartest one in the room, and you don't have to be the smartest one in the room to be a dev. You actually have to dedicate yourself and study. That's the way. That's the pathway to go. You have to be dedicated, and you have to study. You have to spend a lot of time training. So that's what needs to be done instead of just being smart. Being smart is not enough. There are a lot of smart people which are not a dev or can't be a dev if they don't study, if they don't learn properly. So don't be fooled thinking, I'm not the smartest guy, I can't learn that, it's not for me. Uh, don't think like that, because it's just not true. Uh, I've seen many cases of people who are not smart at all, or who had some difficulties. I had some students who had a lot of difficulties, and even myself, I doubt them when I was trying to teach them. I look at those guys and I said, this guy's not gonna learn. When you are in a class and you see some students and you doubt them. And I've been there, like I've doubted those students. I look at those guys in their eyes, and obviously I didn't tell them that, but internally myself, I was thinking, this guy is not gonna make it. He's not gonna become a dev. And a couple of years later, I found those guys in the market working, and the companies they were working for were happy with their job, and they made it. So you can make it too. Don't think, don't overthink that, and don't think you need to be very smart, because you don't need to. And the 10th one, the last but not least, it is a high demand area, but it doesn't mean all the doors are open to you. High demand is not equal to all doors are open. It's not equal at all. So if you think you're going to become a dev, and then just because you learned some skills and you learn how to code, every single interview you go, people are going to hire you, or every time you send a CV, they're going to call you to an interview. That's not going to happen. It's a very competitive market, and a lot of people out there are trying. There are a lot of good devs out there. There are space to everyone. Yes, there are. Usually, there are more positions available than people wanting those positions. Yes, that's true. But also, the requirements, the level of the requirements are very high. So the companies, they are not going to hire someone just because someone tells, "Oh, I am a dev." They're going to actually test you. They're going to check your skills. They're going to see if you're actually a good fit for the company, because it's actually too expensive to have someone in the company which is not a fit. Bringing someone to the team, teaching this person how to work in this company, the specific company you're going to work for, and then later on, after 2-3 months, figure out you were not the best fit. It's very expensive for the companies. That's why the hiring process has very high standards in this area. So don't expect to be hired at the first interview. Obviously, you should not give up. There are positions available to everyone, as I mentioned. There are usually more positions available than people wanting those positions, but it's not easy to be hired. Definitely, it's not easy at all. So don't be fooled by that. And the last one, I'm gonna give you a bonus one. I've said 10, but I'm gonna give you a bonus one. Is ChatGPT will not create a software for you. I'm gonna type that so you guys can see it for you. Definitely, ChatGPT will not do that. ChatGPT will not create any software for you. AI is like pretty. I would say everyone is talking about that at the moment. That's a hype. And everyone is saying it can do everything. It's going to stole the dev's job, but that's just not going to happen. ChatGPT is a really good tool to actually help you. It's going to help you to create your code. It's going to help you to think of the solutions. It can show you things you didn't think before, but it's not going to solve all the problems. It's not going to replace the devs, because you still have a creative job here. You still have to understand people requirements, which most of the time they are not very good on telling you what they want. You have to sort of guess, you have to figure out what people want. That's why will not be able to replace the devs. So that's the bonus misunderstanding, the bonus myth about software development, and most people are talking about that at the moment, like, ChatGPT is going to stole the dev's job. ChatGPT is going to be creating software and it's going to be doing everything. Don't be fooled by that. It's not going to happen at all. All right, that was it I had for today, guys. I hope you enjoy this content. If you like it, please leave a thumbs up, share this video with your friends or mates, and stay tuned for the next ones. See you guys next time.